it's been smoky ever since that cold front moved through last Wednesday. I mean, it was a nice break to get out of the upper 90s. I mean, that's for sure, Andy. But man, see how hazy it is out there now? You know, the cold front came in, brought all the smoke in. I mean, geez, the moon, when I was driving here, well, yeah, of course it was dark when I got here. But when I was driving here, the moon was orange. I mean, I was headed up here. It's wildfires is what it is. It's the wildfires, like I said, it's the smoke from Canada, you know. I only had one burning desire. Boom, 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 boom. Let me jump into your fire. Let me jump into your fire. Let me jump into your fire. Oh yeah, little Hendrix. Yeah, what? We're rolling? All right, we're rolling. Okay. 80s until Thursday. Then it looks like we got some much needed rain coming. You know, end of the week. Not a bad work week. Warm, cooler, getting cool. It's Zeptember, so all right. You know, yeah, all right. Good morning. It is Monday, September 8th, or as we like to say it around here, Zeptember 8th. That's September spelled with a Z, and that means, you know, it's all Zeppelin all the time, all day, all Zeppelin, you know. That's it, September. We can only do it when I was working in radio. That's where I got it from. Yeah, Zeptember. We play Zeppelin all the time. So, yeah, I haven't been on radio for a while. I mean, really, it's been a long time since I rock and roll. Baby, boo, boo. Been a long time, been a long time, been a long, lonely time. So, like I said, it's Monday, Zeptember 8th. So, what do I have Led Zeppelin trivia to start the show out with a little Led Zeppelin trivia? Well, of course I do. All right, what do I got? September 8th, on this day in 1979, Led Zeppelin scored their eighth, number one. It was the eighth and final, actually. It was their last one. It was their eighth and final number one album. It was a studio album. Yep. In Through the Outdoor. In the evening. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. It had a hot dog on it, which is one of our, probably Led Zeppelin's weirdest. Yeah. It's the album with the butcher paper on it. Had several different covers. I only have one cover, but it has brand new butcher paper on it, and I've had it in plastic for years. So, I have every Zeppelin. Now I don't have, I don't think I have The Song Remains the Same. But anyway, their number one album, In Through the Outdoor, that hit both number one in the American charts and the UK Britain charts. It's the last time that they would do that. Yeah, that's what I said. And, all right, and there's more Zeppelin trivia. And there's more Zeppelin trivia. On this day in 1997, Whole Lot of Love, Want a Whole Lot of Love, pew, Want a Whole Lot of Love, pew. That was released as the band's first, now bear with me, it was released in, I said 1997, Whole Lot of Love was released as the band's first single in Britain, in the United Kingdom. That's 28 years after their second album even hit the record stores. You see, in 1969, Led Zeppelin and their manager, that at the time was Peter Grant, and they had decided not to release singles off their albums, but Led Zeppelin had decided not to. Yeah, all these hits that Zeppelin are, none of them got radio. None of them were released as a single. So they got radio DJs like I used to do. We just pick songs off the album. Hey, this is a good one. They come from the land of ice, and so the immigrant song's always a good one. All right. Even though Led Zeppelin decided that they did not want to release any singles, Atlantic Records decided to release a 3-minute and 10-second edit of the song Whole Lot of Love, and it reached number 4 on the Billboard charts in America. Robert Plant hated the song. Yeah. If you read about this, and I did, Robert Plant just hated that 3-minute song. Finally, in 1997, on this day, 30 years after the album's release, Led Zeppelin, they released the Led Zeppelin Celebration, and then the milestone, they released the first single today in 1970, Whole Lot of Love. Bam! It made it to number 21 in Britain's hits charts. 17 years after the band broke up. That's 20-some odd years, 30 years after the album, 30 years after the album was even released, and the song still hit 21 on the charts. I just love Zeptember, don't I? Man, every week it's all Zeppelin all the time. You should have heard me on the radio. I was playing all sorts of deep cuts. Dancing days are here again. All right. Before we get any further with this of our shenanigans this morning, don't forget to give this podcast a like. It's down there. Those thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, the subscribe button is right down there too. You hit the subscribe button. That way you'll be notified of any and all new content, and you'll have a chance to win fabulous prizes and participate in our Monday morning polls. Andy, do we have a poll up this morning? We do not. Why am I telling people they have a chance to participate in our polls if you're not putting them up? All right. Where's my prop here? There we go. And this morning's podcast is brought to you in part each and every Monday morning by our good friends down at the Great Falls Gazette, your only source for local news that's reported by local members of our community. Excuse me. It is available every Tuesday, Thursday, and yesterday's deluxe edition, and that's one I got here right in my hand. Pick up a copy of it today. What do we got on the copy? The Deputy City Manager, fire rescue crews. We are not on the cover again, but hey, if I ever am on the cover, I'm going to hit it right now, and I'm going to buy 5 copies for my mother. Hey, gonna see my smiling face on the cover of the Great Falls Gazette. Oh, yeah. Never gets old, does it? It is old. All right. Probably where we're going to be is we're going to be back here on the back page, back cover of Crimestoppers on America's Most Wanted for a criminally insane podcast. We're wanted for we are criminally insane around here. I mean, I'm telling you, we are a hoot, aren't we? What the heck? What do we got here back? We got a couple of people. Look at this guy. This guy's holding a sign or something. A little sign that says, help me, or something, I don't know. And they're all wanted. We got, come on, Great Falls, let's get out there and get these guys. Let's get them busted. All right. Speaking of crime. Well, yeah, we had the crime people here. Crime, we did some crime stuff this weekend. Crime, college football this weekend, took a little break, did some crime research, looking at crime. It's a crime, yeah. Speaking of, did you know, first of all, did you know that in Montana, between 1980 and 2020, there were about 1,305 unsolved homicides, according to the National Project Cold Case. Yeah, it's national. It's called Project Cold Case. Project Cold Case. Okay, that's where the national data is. Apparently, from what we're seeing this morning, and yesterday when I was looking some of this stuff up. But we got it all up here this morning. It's up here on the computer. Out of those 881, or like I said, okay, we have 1,305 unsolved homicides. 881 of those homicides have been solved over the years, leaving approximately 425? Yeah, 425 unsolved murders in Montana. Okay, we're not the biggest state. That's, a lot of wide open spaces. But there's some, there's unsolved. There's approximately 400 plus, okay, in Montana. This is according to the Project Cold Case has said this, all right? Okay? And you can look up the data. It's all sorts of data out there. It's weird because Montana has different data. It's sometimes hard to get it because maybe you want some data from eastern Montana. It's not reflected in western Montana, so on and so forth. Gotta go get in Project Cold Case's website too. That's a lot of unsolved murders, don't you think? I mean, come on, there's a lot of unsolved murders. So we've talked about some of them. We've talked about Zach Ramsey. We've talked about the Morris Pizza, Howard Pizza guy. We talked about Shannon LeBeau down in Helena. We talked about Mike Evans here in Great Falls, and some others. But there's still 425 still unsolved. Like I said, that's quite a bit. We're not that big of a state. We have less people in this state than cities I've been in. Okay, I've been to New York, I've been to Chicago, I've been to Los Angeles, I've been to all those things. And we have bigger population. Detroit at one time, okay, it was 1 point something, and that's when we lived there. What? What about national? Well, we're talking about national, but if you want national data says to me right there that over 200,000 people in that same time period nationwide. Holy shnikes, Andy! That's like 250,000 unsolved murders in the United States. Man, that's unsolved. 250,000 unsolved murders in the United States and gone cold since 1980. 250,000. Nobody knows who did what. They're just dead. They're missing. That's a lot of people getting whacked, you know. Pardon my mafia talk, but that's a staggering statistic, Andy. That is. And for the indigenous women in our state, the data is frightening. It's 23% higher, 33%. Throw it up there. 28% higher than the national average. And I got something other here that says it's 30% higher than the national average. That's frightening. I mean, that is, wow. We're going to highlight a case this morning that not only shows, once I started reading about this, it was amazing to me. Her name is Kaysera Stops Pretty Places. She was an 18-year-old member of the Crow and Northern Cheyenne Nations. She was known among friends and family and everybody. I mean, all the reports that we read and everything, she was like this, outspoken, communicative, social young lady. Known for speaking out against wrongs and being an advocate. Okay. In the summer of 2019, she was looking forward, basically, to a trip with her family. They were going to go to North Dakota to visit relatives. They're getting ready to go. She never made the trip. Okay. You see, just days before the vacation, Kaysera filmed and uploaded a video of local officers, local law enforcement, beating up her 15-year-old disabled brother who was in a wheelchair. Okay? Many people that, if you start reading about Kaysera and the story, many people believe that video played a key piece of the puzzle of her disappearance and subsequent, finding. All right, and now on August 29th, 2009, Kaysera was living with her grandma, Yolanda Frazier. This all happened in Hardin, Montana. Okay, she was living with her grandma, Yolanda, in Hardin. She went out one night, didn't come home. Okay, now, despite Yolanda reaching out to law enforcement and explaining how unlikely it was for Kaysera not to return home or even communicate where she was, not by cell phone, by anything, just, she's gone, she's not, So the police department basically left Yolanda to fend for herself, even though there was already credible evidence something was wrong. The girl's not home. She's not communicating on her cell phone. She's not verbally, not unlike her. Okay, no alert was issued. No police report or missing persons report was ever issued. Okay. On August 25th, Kaysera's aunt, this Priscilla Bulltail, okay, she also tried to report her missing, but was told by the local authorities up there that there was a mandatory waiting period before police would file such a report, which is not the case in Montana. That was just a lie. Okay? If there's someone missing, the police are not going to tell you, they're not going to say, well, you can't, we don't know. We'll wait. We have to wait to report missing. If someone's missing in Montana, they're missing in Montana. Now, mere days later, on August 29th, Kaysera's body was found by a jogger. She was laying face down in a pile of, tree trimmings. Yeah, face down, trimmings, and where they had some tree work going on, there was piles of logs and stuff. She was face down there. It's just behind a number of houses in a residential district, the neighborhood. It was just right behind the neighborhood. I think the trees were being trimmed in the neighborhood, but put in a field behind the neighborhood. That's what we read to see. Okay. But it would be weeks before the police even identified her body, okay? Or they told the family. I mean, literally, over a week. Couple weeks, wasn't it? Yeah. By the time Kaysera's family was notified of the positive identification of their family, it was September 11th. She'd been dead since August 28th. How long is that? That's 2.5, almost 3 weeks. Almost 3 weeks, and they had the body when they were trying to report her missing. And they were, you can't report her missing. Why? Because we got the body, but we're not telling you. They were being tipped off multiple times. Yeah, they knew people that her body was being in the morgue. People said, they found her, and the family was not allowed to make any identification prior to the 11th. They had the body how long? And refused to tell the family they even had her? Oh, man, they'd have hell to pay. Oh, jeez. Now, the county coroner, whose name is Terry Bullis, okay, he happened to own and operate the local mortuary. How convenient. Yeah. And he acted as the funeral director. He insisted as the county coroner that there was no need for an autopsy and that Kaysera's body must be cremated before the body would even be viewed or returned to the family. Check that out. Neither Kaysera's legal guardians, her father Alan or grandmother Yolanda, were notified of the fact. Only the mother was informed She opposed the cremation on religious grounds, for starters. Okay. Second of all, she demanded an autopsy. Guess what? And she was cremated anyway. Seriously. Yeah, she was just cremated anyway. That Bullis guy. Years later, how many years now is it now, Andy? 6 years later? Her case, Kaysera's case is just as murky, cloudy now as it was the day the body was found laying in that pile of wood. Later, local police, like I said, they blamed Terry Bullis, county coroner, and funeral director for receiving the body, first of all, taking the body from the crime lab before an autopsy or even a full investigation had been. He destroyed crucial evidence. I mean, geez. Make matters worse, a man who lived in the neighborhood when Kaysera was found in that field, in that wood pile, he reported, who was it? The name and the man, do I have it? Throw it up there. Jason Cummings. He reported that when she was found, he saw police remove her cell phone from her pocket. Okay? By the way, her cell phone was never returned to her family. Nobody ever got it. Yeah. And some sources suggest that the responding officer on this, when Kaysera's body was found and the cell phone was removed, was the same officer that was seen beating up Kaysera's brother at the fair in the video she posted. It was the same, yeah. So, boy, this isn't really an unsolved mystery, but it is. I mean, this is not only I would say that this was not only an unsolved mystery, but as much it's so suspicious by some of the law enforcement that was involved and the county coroner and just the way it was handled. I mean, they took witnesses say, in the cases still they don't know who did it. They don't really know nothing because she was cremated against mom's wishes, and yeah, what a page turner that was. True crime at its finest, with police involvement, maybe police corruption, shady, the whole thing just reeks. It just reeks in here of something. So, true crime. Look Kaysera's case up. Project Cold Case, it's right there. It's where we got a lot of information. So, in closing, and before I want to close, I wanted I found out last week that my big brother, my oldest brother, died of pancreatic cancer. It just now I'm the only one left. I mean, it's just now effectively I'm the only one left. I mean, the memories I remember, he's the reason. My older brother's the reason I'm a Tiger fan, and I'm a reason. He took me to Detroit Tiger games. He took me to Detroit Red Wings. Him and my dad took me to Detroit Red Wings. I can remember summers playing baseball with my brother. He was quite the athlete. He was quite the big, hulking. He was 6'3". He played hockey. He played baseball. He was quite the athlete. Graduated 1965. I remember I was there at the graduation. But yeah, I remember summers playing baseball, and took me almost half of the Detroit Tiger games in 1968. That was the year before my mom and dad divorced. In retrospect, my brother knew it was coming. 68 was, of course, the year the Tigers won the World Series. So, I mean, it just floored me that, the whole, now there's like effectively there's no one, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, everybody's gone. So, yeah, it brought back the memories, flooding. I remember one time we were living in Farmington Hills and down in the basement, and he was trying to scare me. And he stuck his head down, and I'm coming down the basement stairs, and they were steps that were slats with hollow in between. And I didn't like them anyway. I was little back then. I don't know how old I was, like 9, 10, somewhere. I didn't like the steps. I didn't like them. And I remember he got underneath the stairs, and he stuck his head between the slats to scare me. And he's like, boo, and he scared me, but his head got stuck. And I remember mom and dad, Another memory is, this funnier than heck. We were on vacation. We'd stayed at a motel, I think in Iowa or somewhere. We were headed out west. I must have been 9 or 10 again. And the sign, it had a heated pool. And it had the sign, heated pool. And when my older brother, before we left, he changed the sign around so it said heated poop. Mom was mad. I was cracking up because he posted poop. Dad was smirking but trying to be mad. It's just a great memory, I love you, brother. All right, Andy, we're done. We are done. Remember, spay and neuter. Adopt, don't shop. Foster, rescue, volunteer. Hey, you can even donate. But go out and adopt a shelter pet today. Until next week, have a great Monday. We are out of here.